My name is Renae Bluitt, and my Her story is our story.
Her story is important.
We deserve recognition.
We're here for the next person to come up. We're here to tell our story.
I need to walk with the entitlement of a white male.
Being a little less humble and bragging a little bit more.
Well-behaved women never make history.
Women are superheroes. Women are the foundation of this world.
I came out of the womb worthy.
Out of the womb.
Came out of her, knowing I was her.
My name is Monifã Coffee. My mission is to tell my story. I am right now the proud owner of a production company called YahZarah, and it's geared towards telling Black stories because we need to narrate our own stories.
I just knew that I wanted to see more of myself in the landscape that I love so much, but I felt didn't love me back. And I really wanted to give that opportunity to myself and to others.
Working on this project, working on her story, and seeing it come to life and seeing how it's touching the lives of the women who have graced these seats and making Black women's voices shine. That's it for me. That's it. That's what I want to be doing.
My mission is to create opportunities for Black women to be seen, celebrated, and sought after.
I would say the achievements that deserve more recognition, probably everything. I think about Claudette Colvin, who in the civil rights movement, she was the predecessor to Rosa Parks, right? She was a Black woman who actually sat down on the bus. She was a chocolate woman, she was a teenager, and she was pregnant. But of course, she wasn't the right face for the movement, unfortunately. So like when I think about how many women and how many unsung heroes there are like that who, oh, you don't look the part, or I'm assuming you're not enough for the part in so many ways, whether it's the real part on TV or a part outside of it, and they just go unnoticed because they don't fit the mold. It would start with a woman like her.
There shouldn't even be barriers for us. It's just, it doesn't even make sense. Like, if not for us, there would not be anything to be breaking.
There is a long list of women that inspire me. My great-great-grandmother, Miss Susie M. Brown. She was the first Black nurse in her town of Ocala, Florida. The fact that this woman did that in such a way during a time where women themselves weren't even supposed to be or allowed to travel by themselves. I don't even know how she got from point A to B, but she did it and she succeeded. And her story is so inspiring, and I wonder how many other unsung heroes in my family that I just don't know about just because of the documentation, or I should say lack of documentation of Black people.
My mom is Vernise Williams. She was the first Black Miss America. She really is a testament to so many things that America faces, that the world faces. I definitely take her story as a beacon of light and a reminder that you can make anything happen for yourself.
One woman in my family whose story is really inspiring to me is my great-grandmother. Her name is Agnes Pierre. We called her Mimi. And she was one of the first women entrepreneurs that I knew of. She was in Trinidad. She would bake cookies, cakes, you know, anything you could think of. And she would walk around with this basket and sell them to students, to people in the community. And, you know, when I started my journey of entrepreneurship, my mother shared more details about Mimi to me, and I realized that, like, wow, what I'm doing is really continuing her legacy.
I actually think we've always been powerful. Madam C.J. Walker, she was the American self-made millionaire from hair care products.
Recognition specifically for Black women, it just needs to be. It just needs to happen already. There's never enough. It's like, I hate that saying of like, we have to be 10 times better than, because even when we are 10 times better than, it's still not enough recognition.
Share a time that life challenged you and how you bounced back.
A time that, a lot of things come to mind when I think about times that life has tried me as a woman, as a Black woman. That happens on the daily. I think the biggest one that comes to mind, not to take it to a dark place, but was when I turned 21. I was still in college. And at that point, I'm also a Muslim Black woman. I was holding on for dear life to my virginity until marriage, and then ended up getting raped out of it. And I overcame by, of course, a lot of prayer, meditation, and finding myself, and ultimately was empowered, like we always do as Black women, by turning a negative into a positive and taking control of that space, my sexuality, and promising myself that going forward I'll only do it with and when I want to, with who and when I want to.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
So much goes into being a woman, and so much of us being who we are is always battling through something, never being able to just be. So I just would wish so much grace if people could see how our feelings are valid, our intuition is so important, our care is life-changing. So I think those things would literally change the world if they were just recognized, appreciated, and us really being seen for the roles that we play on this planet.
We're not adored the way that we need to be. We're not heard the way that we should be, right? And it's really a man's world.
We're raised to be dutiful. We're raised to do what everybody asks us to do, or we're not a good woman or a good girl.
We teach women that they are able to be cherished and loved once they hit this threshold of perfection.
We strive and we grow up and we try to do all those things and try to do what's best for us. And I think it goes unnoticed so often.
We birthed the earth. We gave life. Everybody in this room is here because of a woman.
We populated this whole entire earth. We are the mothership. That's it.
My womanhood needs money and resources to thrive.
My womanhood needs money, lots and lots and lots of money to thrive.
The main challenge that I'm facing more specifically right now and that I'm aware of is pay disparity. I'm realizing that when we're going into negotiations, the level of pushback there is. And to be honest, I'm telling my agent, listen, I need you to negotiate for me as if I was a white man, because I'm feeling like, there are other people who are getting more. And I want to make sure that you know and that they know that I know my worth.
We do not have equal pay. We are being rolled back on Roe versus Wade, just having decisions.
We're battling day-to-day issues across industries that do not want to see us there, that try to really not give us any equity or respect in a space that is created off of us, off of our culture, off of our creations.
It's a lot that we have to deal with right now in this climate.
I designed a show called Jaja's African Hair Braiding on Broadway. We made history with that show. And, it was the first show where I was able to have an all-Black hair team on Broadway. Right before it was a show that was predominantly white show. And I was the only Black designer on the show. There were so many microaggressions, so many times I hadn't done enough Broadway to belong there. Then I went into Jaja's, and it was so different, and it was all love, and it was all trust, and it was Black people. And I was like, oh, this is the moment where I'm proud to be a Black woman.
We're thriving and flourishing even in the midst of all that's trying to keep us from. But we still come through. And do it shining with all that good God energy.
The amazing Phylicia Rayshard said, I am myself, and who I am is a lot.
I am going to be the first Black woman in nearly 4 decades to perform in the Victoria Theaters of the Apollo. It was a theater that was the only 5-star hotel in New York for Black folks to stay in. So people like Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, Josephine Baker, Ella Fitzgerald stayed in this hotel, and now they've opened an incredible theater that I get to perform as the first Black woman there for the Apollo Theater, and that's a huge, huge honor. I stand here, a woman who does not shrink, and my HER story is one of a phoenix rising from the ashes.